First off, Dave and Chow, thank you for the work you put into this. Whether or not everybody in this room, whether every commissioner agrees with you, what I saw tonight, what I've seen since this pilot project is nothing but professionality. You guys answer our questions, and you're giving us information, true information, not things that people suspect or what's going on, because that's the key here. We have to look at the facts, not just what their concerns are. But, you know, I had a person tell me a couple days ago, he made a quote, and I sort of laughed at it, and he said, only in Butte would the city council be arguing about garbage. I mean, where else in the country do you think they're arguing about garbage, other than the fact looking for increased landfills and talking about recycling, okay? So, and whether that's a knock on Butte or that's just a fact of reality that we often resist change, because that's what it is. But I'm glad that you said is that, you know, there's literally thousands of cities and millions of households across this country, across the world, that use recycling and do this automated system. So we're not breaking new ground. And for the people that are continuing to say that, you know, Butte is the only place that has bad weather, I mean, seriously, there's other places in our state, there's other places in the country that have bad weather and they deal with it. There's other places in the country and in the state that have hills that they deal with it. And most importantly, there are other places in the country and in this state that have elderly people. We don't have a market on that. In fact, today, most of you know that I do lawns just for some extra money along with my boys. I have mainly senior citizens that I cut their lawns. I had a 92-year-old lady today that came to me when I was doing the lawn and said, you know, I want to talk to you about this new recycling or new garbage. And I thought immediately she was going to say, I don't like it. She went over to the garbage can. I haven't actually paid much attention to these garbage cans. And she said, take a look at this. She goes over, 92, I remind you, takes it, rolls it out, and shows me, look at the wheels, look at my old garbage cans. I had to drag these out before. Now this rolls out very easily right to the curb. Now granted, it's out in an easy area. But what that says is that all our fears, that yes, there are going to be issues that we're going to have to deal with. But not every single person, if you look at the comments, you look at the things, there's some very positive things that are taking place here. So the other mentioned thing that, and I'm not sure Jay had this, if you take a walk on some of our trails, you go to some of our parks, our baseball fields, the very similar garbage cans are now in those locations. I've noticed a huge difference in terms of litter. And why? Probably because of that same idea, the same concept that is occurring hopefully in our alleys. So again, I appreciate the effort that you put into it. I appreciate the timeline that you've given us. So there's a lot for us here to discuss this as we move on, and I appreciate the presentation. Thank you.
Commissioner McDonough, and then Commissioner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions, I guess just a few comments. In terms of like the hills and Centerville and Walkerville and the outlying areas, but if you challenge Steve McGree right now, he'd tell you to back a truck up into anywhere, and I bet you could. It's not uncharted territory. They're collecting garbage in Centerville and Walkerville now, and they've been doing it since they've been in business. And they do a very good job of it. And they have very qualified guys that can handle the system. So it's not like we're trying something new. This is uncharted territory. These guys can handle it. When we say we and then agree, it almost sounds like we pick areas, but we're not picking the garbage up. It's McGree Trucking that's doing the job for us. And they've handled it for years, and I think that they can handle it into the future. As far as the community enrichment department, we spend quite a bit of resources and a lot of money to go around town and collect garbage that people don't even have a can, or, you know, I have a lot of constituents that call because people have thrown their garbage out into the alley or behind tech, and then we have, you know, Bob Lazary or Travis Eskelson or Ed Randall out responding to garbage that doesn't even make it to the landfill, which costs us resources on the other end. So lots of things to consider, but I'm in favor of the program, and I think that we've done a great job on Butte-Silver Bow's behalf. But I think McGree Trucking's been great to work with, and I think that there's lots of possibilities moving forward. My final comment is, I know that me and Commissioner Henderson disagree on this issue, but it looks like tonight that a lot of ratepayers in his district would benefit from implementing the plan that are currently outside the district.
Mr. Fisher, since you haven't had a chance to speak, Commissioner Fisher.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I didn't want to be left out. It's really interesting listening to it. I just have a couple of comments, and I may not make it next week to the meeting, so I'd just like to say that I'm opposed to the new garbage service, and I'm for the recycling, and I don't know how that's going to work, but, you know, just not this garbage thing. It's not change, you know, that people are afraid of in Butte. It's not change. The thing I hear a lot from a lot of people, young and old and in between, is, you know, why are we trying to fix a lot of things that aren't broken? And Matt said in his speech, you know, that ain't good enough, and him and Dave are on the same page with a lot of these. You know, we got a lot of things that do need to be fixed, that aren't getting fixed. And, you know, we're going out of the box on the garbage, and we've done the bike lanes, and the dogs in the parks, and we're doing a lot of different things. But we're not taking care of the things that have been bothering us for years that people are still talking about. And, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I ain't sure that if that's not good enough or not. I mean, if it ain't broke, you know, we should be fixing things that need fixing instead of changing things that we changing. It's not because I'm afraid of change. It's just that's the way it should be. Thank you.
Commissioner Henderson and Commissioner Perdue.
Madam Chair, I just want to respond on a couple of articles, or, you know, from Mr. McDonough for one. The truck always went up the alley, always went down the alley. Well, I'm sure Mr. McGree can verify this because his dad was going to fire me. And that was, they don't go up and down the alley. The guys told me, you can't go down that alley. And nope, I went down the alley. I crashed into a garage. And of course, Mr. McGree, I had to answer to. And what we did, we had refrigerator boxes and stove boxes that we would take down certain alleys and walk down them to get the garbage all the way down. So the truck just doesn't go up and down that easy. I know you're not a truck driver, but anyway. I feel in this particular case that Mr. Schultz, I think this whole thing started because I don't like fixing something that isn't broke either, and I think it started with recycling. And I think somehow we got mixed into the garbage with it, because I think we're going to have problems on the recycling. And I don't mean that it's not a great thing. People love to recycle. We recycle at my house, everything. But I will say this, it's going to be a problem. Right now, the market's down, 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 down. And I have a feeling we're going to have to pay Aware more and more, or whoever might be the contracts for recycling. We're going to have to keep paying because the price is going to be down. If it goes up, fine. But I think we've got a problem with recycling. And we have the best garbage service right now you could ask for. So I don't know why we have to be like a million other people. We have the best. And the million other people ain't paying $6.20 a month. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Commissioner Perdue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I forgot to mention this when I was talking before. I just wanted to thank Mr. Schultz and Joe for your presentation this evening, and I hope next week I get a chance to chat with Mr. Jeff Johnson. He's not here tonight. He's the manager of Pacific Steel and Recycling, and I hope he comes next week because I hope you all get to hear what he has to say. He spent 3 years meeting with folks with Butte-Silver Bow, and he was not a part of the final group doing the curbside recycling project, but enough of that. I will let him tell his story. Hopefully he can come next week. He has a very interesting tale to tell, so be it as it may, I will let him tell his story. But Dave, I'd like to further comment from a couple that got a hold of me last night. They would, and I love the Alley Rally, and I think that is a great program. They wanted me to tell you to, if you could, start it a little earlier, because that's a great program. People use it, and they'd like it started a little bit earlier so they can get a jump on the stuff they want to get out of their house. So, thanks so much.